Hello, this is Professor John Mack greeting you, and I want to talk to you about plagiarism. Plagiarism is important for many reasons. It's important for us to understand it. It's important for us to talk about it. It's important for at least three reasons. Um, First of all, it's important that universities and colleges take plagiarism seriously because when you graduate from a college or university and go out and market the degree that you've received, you want others to treat the degree that you earned with respect. If it becomes known that a university or college is giving credit to students who are repeatedly plagiarizing, the value of your degree suffers. And that has happened. There has been, in recent years, um, certain universities and certain colleges whose degrees are not taken seriously because of accusations of academic dishonesty. So it's important for you, in terms of what you're going to do with the degree. You're putting a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of energy into earning this degree. You want it to mean something. And so you want us who work at the university or college to take plagiarism seriously. Secondly, you want to learn. I mean, the whole reason you're going to school is to learn. And plagiarism shortchanges you of the opportunity to learn and to grow. Now, I know that there are certain topics that you're probably not interested in. You don't see the relevance of what you're studying, and I get that. Um, but the process of working through material, writing your own papers, is one which is going to translate and help you later on in your career. So it's important, and learning is good. I mean, learning's fun. Um, and so even though you might go, I don't know why I need to know this, trust me, at some point you'll be glad you learned it. That's true of everything I've learned, even those courses when I went to college that I wondered, why in the world do I have to take this course? At some point in my life, I have been thankful that I took that course. And then lastly, it's important because you want to be a person of integrity. I'm 54, almost 55. The older I get, the more I realize how important integrity is, the more I realize that what is most important to me is that I know I am a man of integrity, that I am somebody who doesn't cheat, I'm somebody who doesn't steal, I'm somebody who does his own work, and that's important to me, and it should be important to you as well, because integrity is essential if we're going to be authentic human beings. And perhaps then that relates to a fourth reason, which is it's not fair to steal something from someone else and use it for yourself. It's not fair to that other person, and it's not good for you. All right, so if plagiarism is important, then the second most important question is, what is it? And there's a lot of confusion um, about what plagiarism is. And so I want to talk to you about that, so you're very clear. And I pulled up this, and you can go here. It's a great website, plagiarism.org. And I just want to point out a few things. All right. Yes, you can steal ideas and words. So these are I want to look at this because some of these you may not immediately recognize to be plagiarism. All right. Plagiarism is turning someone else's work in and claiming that you wrote it. Now that's the obvious one, right? Where you go, you cut and paste, and you put that in a paper and submit it. You don't cite your source. That's obviously plagiarism. Um, you pay somebody to write a paper for you. That's plagiarism, right? We understand the sort of the objective extreme version. All right. Now, plagiarism can also be incremental. It can be copying words and ideas from someone and then not giving credit to that person. All right, so that also is plagiarism, and that I think we're familiar with, where you write the paper, but 10% of the paper is cut and pasted from a website. All right, I would say, as a general rule, never cut and paste. Center. Always make sure that you are typing all of the words in your paper or essay by yourself. That's one good rule. Never cut and paste. I know a lot of students cut and paste and then they go in and they try to change words. All right, that, as we will see, is a form of plagiarism. It may not always be caught, but it is taking someone else's ideas. Even if you change a few words, you're still using those ideas. And you know, I've seen students who've done that, and they use the thesaurus on a Microsoft Word document, and they come up with synonyms. You know, and some of those are really silly synonyms. Perhaps they don't understand what the word means. But that, anytime you cut and paste into a paper and use the words as your own, even if you change a few words, that's plagiarism. All right? So, and this brings us to the next thing. If you do cut and paste, let's say you find a great sentence, when you put it in your paper, it must be inside quotation marks. Anything that is cut and pasted into a paper or essay must be inside quotation marks, followed by appropriate citations. Failure to do that is plagiarism. Even if you list the source at the end. You say, well, I cited the source. No, you did not tell us, you did not indicate that those words were written by someone else. That's what quotation marks do. They indicate the words were written by someone else. Another form of plagiarism is when you give incorrect information about the source of a quotation. So, you know, you find it in a book and you need 4 sources, and so you find a quote in a book and you go to the citation and you find where the quote came from originally, and so instead of citing the source that you used to find that quote, you cite the citation for the quote. All right? That's cheating. That's plagiarism. You didn't find it. You have to indicate where you found the quote to be honest. You have to be honest and upfront. That's what this is all about, being honest, being transparent. All right, so that would be, and again, that may not be caught, but you should know that that demonstrates a lack of integrity. All right, this is important, this next one. Changing words, but copying the sentence structure of a source without giving credit. I have seen students turn in papers that essentially followed exactly the order of an article they found online, but they thought if they changed some of the words throughout the paper that they could claim that it was their own work. Here's the key. Using the organizational structure of someone else is plagiarism. You're stealing from that person. It doesn't always have to be the exact words, even just the way in which an argument is structured. If you cut and paste that, even if you change the words, you've plagiarized unless you clearly indicate through citations that you are not the source for the organizational structure. And remember that papers that are submitted must be your own work. And that means your own words, your own organization, your own thoughts. Now, you will incorporate material that you've learned from outside sources, obviously, because we're all learning, but you're going to do it in a way that reflects originality. You're going to do it in a way that is clearly your own paper, written by you, put together by you, constructed by you. All right, which brings us then to this last one, copying so many words and ideas from a source that it makes up the majority of your work, whether you give credit or not. So you might say, well, I cited my sources. Yeah, but 80% of your paper was cut and pasted from other sources. That's not your own paper. That's a collage of what other people think, and it should be labeled, what do other people think about this subject? Rather than, this is what I think about this subject. As a general rule, no more than 20% should be from other sources. In a paper, at least 80% of that paper should be your own words, should be your own organization. You bring in and cite other sources, yes, but at least 80% should be your own work. More than that, essentially what you're doing, again, is creating a collage, reporting what other people have said about a subject, instead of doing the hard and yet necessary work of doing your research and then writing your own paper and submitting your own thoughts and ideas on a subject. I hope that explains what plagiarism is, so that as you work through your papers, you can, and essays and discussion posts, remember all these rules also apply to whatever you post in the discussion forum, you can be a person of integrity. Thank you.